you don't always go into places to talk politics. You go there to see how can I help out.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest blessing that I see in your life, is that you use every experience you've had to help others out in any way that you can possibly. And that's a good segue into the mental health and the suicide prevention piece, because you, through your advocacy and your passion of mental health, led you to bring about emotion inside the house. And it's a 988 hotline for suicide prevention. So I really want everyone to understand, how did it come about? Why did you bring it forward? And just more details on the whole thing.
Right. Well, I'll probably cry again or tear up in this one too. So when I first was elected, I brought some legislation forward immediately after being sworn in 2015 to make, it was called C211, and it was to develop a national framework with respect to post-traumatic stress disorder and the mental injury that our first responders, our veterans, our military, the people who serve our country and our community, that they develop through their service to our country and our community. And so fortunately, through that work, it was passed in 2018, making Canada the first country in the world. But along the ways, I spoke with a lot of families that had lost loved ones who were struggling with PTSD to suicide. Now, suicide is something that it's a deeply personal thing, but it first touched my life negatively when I was 14. When my best friend took his life, died by suicide. And all these years later, I still carry a ton of guilt. I say a ton of if onlys, if only I would have known that he was struggling, if only I could replay that night, because I was the last one to see him. If only I could just tell him that I loved him and that I was there for him, and that our world was a better place. And his death had a profound impact on me. Maybe I didn't realize it at the time, but I really wanted to make it my mission that other families, friends, colleagues didn't experience those same things that we experienced that time. Sadly, I've lost far too many friends and loved ones, colleagues to suicide. I've sat with far too many families. I spoke. One of my employees, my staff members from WestJet, her young daughter, was 15, took her life, died by suicide. This was 2 years ago now, and so they asked me to speak at the funeral. And as I looked out, I couldn't help but just be transported back to all those years before when. It was when my friend took his life, and it's absolutely heartbreaking. I think as leaders we need to do whatever we can to remove the barriers for those that are struggling with mental health. I think we need to do whatever we can to, if this is the right word, normalize the mental health discussion. It'll help break that stigma.
Absolutely.
That's associated with it. And maybe similar to us talking about our background, it'll bring those that are struggling out of the shadows forward to say, I'm not okay. And it's okay not to be okay.
Absolutely.